Alright, Shalom, giving all praise and all glory unto Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Hakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and Shalom to Archie and pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and sincerity. As always, I'd like to begin by saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites, the real Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians and West Africans predominantly. However, you are going to get Israelites that do look like the other 17 nations because Israel has been scattered amongst all people throughout our various captivities. But if the line of your fathers goes back to Abraham, Isaac and Jacob in the Bible, then you are an Israelite no matter what you may look like. Because as I always say, pertaining to the book of Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18, your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. So as I said, if you descend from the man in the Bible named Israel, then you too are an Israelite no matter what you may look like. So I want to get into this article that I was reading this morning when I woke up. Now I'm just going to do a video on it. Lord willing, it will be edifying. And it says, Alien Invasion. Suspicious footage of UFO hovering over New Jersey sends alien hunters wild. This was published today, which is 15th of September. And it says, a TikTok video showing a supposed genuine UFO sighting is going viral. The video was captured yesterday in New Jersey and shows a strange orb floating in the sky. Now it's got a Twitter post here from someone called Jack J. It's just, why is literally nobody talking about how there was a genuine UFO sighting in New Jersey? It's like you're just distraction. And yeah, so it's like just a bit of a distraction there. So it says, yeah, hi, why is literally nobody talking about how there was a genuine UFO sighting in New Jersey? Now I'm going to play this video, okay?
Yo, I don't know, but everybody stopped to see the aliens. It says, that's what everybody said, bro. I don't know if that's true or not, but everybody blocked the highway. Say the aliens come to get us, I don't know.
Yes.
Yo, I don't know, but everybody stopped to see the aliens. It says, that's what everybody said, bro. I don't know if that's true or not, but everybody blocked the highway. Say the aliens come to get us, I don't know.
They say the aliens coming to get us, I don't know. Well, obviously this guy has never read Isaiah 10 and 1. Let me just quickly get that quickly. Not Isaiah, so it's like Jeremiah 10 and 1. Yeah, Isaiah 10 and 1 and 2. It's like it says, Hear the word of Yahawah which speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahawah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. See? So we're not supposed to be dismayed at the signs of heaven because we know what these things are according to the Holy Scriptures, which is our comforter, which I'll get into in a minute. But let me just get into this article a bit more. I'll bring out some more precepts, Lord willing. So what else have we got here? Let's look at this video if it plays.
Yo, I don't know, but everybody stopped to see the aliens. It says, that's what everybody said, bro. I don't know if that's true or not, but everybody blocked the highway. Say the aliens come to get us, I don't know.
So we've already seen that one. Right, so here we go. So here we are. It says, the unidentified flying object looks like how you would expect, just how you would expect a flying saucer to look in a film. The footage was uploaded by TikTok user Evelyn Juku14. The person filming can be heard saying, "Everybody stop to see the aliens." The video was captured from a car on a busy highway in the United States. So here you have, it's like things getting in the way all the time. Here you have a picture of the Chariot of Israel, which is what it's called there. And obviously you're going to get Esau spinning his lies, saying the sighting is probably a blimp. How the hell is this a blimp? What blimp do you know has flashing lights like that on the bottom? And stay stationary like that? Fucking ridiculous, man. Esau pull anything out of his ass. And these people are so lulled to sleep that they'll swallow it. It says lots of beeping can be heard. The person filming adds, I don't know if that's true or not, but everyone has blocked the highway. Other footage of the same mysterious object is also appearing online. This is another Twitter post by someone called Deroy Floor. UFO spotted in New Jersey, Monday, September 14th, 2020. And it's from a different angle. Let's see if this thing looks like a blimp here.
Oh my God. No puedo creer. Mira, he tenido que parar aquí en la, ¿cómo se llama? En la pista, en la carretera, en la 21. Hay un ovni.
Look, the whole street is fucking stopped. There's a fucking flying spaceship. Yo, look at that. Look at everybody in the highway right now. I don't know, bro. Ni idea. A mí no se mueve de ahí. That's crazy.
Bro, everybody's stopping and stopping their cars and literally to record this shit. Everybody's stopping in the street for this shit.
Look, man, that's powerful, man. I'm going to have to play that again.
Oh my God. No puedo creer. Mira, he tenido que parar aquí en la, ¿cómo se llama? En la pista, en la carretera, en la 21. Hay un ovni.
Look, the whole street is fucking stopped. There's a fucking flying spaceship. Yo, look at that. Look at everybody in the highway right now. I don't know, bro. Ni idea. A mí no se mueve de ahí. That's crazy.
Bro, everybody's stopping and stopping their cars and literally to record this shit. Everybody's stopping in the street for this shit.
Right. So let's finish this article and put out some precepts, because essentially this is all part of Yahawah, Yahawashi manifesting themselves in these last days, and these people are bugging out, as you can see, because these people aren't used to seeing chariots like that, because all their lives they've been lied to. But we know here, the men who are following Great Millstone know that the apostles and the elders have been teaching about these things from the longest time. You know, they've been prophesying, saying that, you know, the UFOs are actually the chariots of Israel, and we know that to be true for the Holy Scriptures. And now this truth is being made manifest in the earth. Now, the fact that the Most High Yahawah is pulling back the veil and revealing these things more and more just shows us that we're coming closer and closer to our deliverance and salvation, because our deliverance is going to come, Lord willing, I'll be of the hopeful elect. Our deliverance is going to come through these chariots of Israel, which will be the vehicles that deliver the elect and the 1/3 of Israel from the great tribulation that is about to take place, which is obviously known as Jacob's trouble in the scriptures. Let me finish this article and now go into the precepts and break that down more. So it says, location of spotted UFO sightings. A TikTok video showing a supposed genuine UFO sighting is going viral, but some think it's just an advertising blimp. If it's an advertising blimp, where's the advert? It's plain and simple. If you're going to pay money for an advertising blimp, you're going to want people to see your product being advertised. And who's got money to pay for an advertising blimp in the midst of this coronavirus crisis? That don't make no sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Who's going to be advertising at times like this when the economy is collapsing. Who has money to spend on some, elaborate advertising campaign in this current climate? That make no sense. If you know what I mean, 2 2s and you see Esau's a liar. It says, however, it seems the UFO could actually just be a Goodyear blimp with its neon sign displaying a message. Esau, man, you fucking lying devil. The blimp is commonly used to advertise sporting events and does look quite alien to people who aren't used to seeing it. Lots of people are taking to Twitter to argue the Goodyear blimp point. Yeah, you're probably your paid agents, You've got all these people who go on the internet as, what do you call them? Actors. I suppose you could say actors, but they're really just agents who are paid to push certain political agendas or certain points of view. Like, you get people who literally troll Twitter and will make pro-LGBTQ posts. They'll do that because it's what they're paid to do. People have come out and exposed this many times, So Esau's got these people who are paid agents on their social media to push and promote their spin, whatever spin Esau wants to spin. But the only spin is the truth, because the truth will stand and all the lies are going to fall, because the scriptures give us the truth. Yahawashi said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. So the only truth is the truth of the Holy Scriptures, and the Holy Scriptures break down exactly what these things are. So, look, they've done a poll. Esau's trying to pick the minds of the people to see where their minds are at. That's why he's put this poll here. But who cares what Esau thinks? It don't matter what Esau thinks. Yeah, there's nothing more interesting in this article, so let's get some scriptures up. Oh, hang on, there's 13 comments. Let me see if the comments are any good. Someone says, take into account that it is New Jersey. It's definitely a spaceship, but it's not in space. Maybe it's a frisbee. I guess that must be a joke. See what other comments people are saying. Yeah. Don't let the incredulity of the unbelievers sway you, because these are just unbelievers on these comment sections. Yeah, let's get some precepts, man. I'm going to get Revelation 1 and 7 to start with. For all you Christians who claim to believe in the Lord, do you believe in this verse? Revelation chapter 1 and verse 7, it says, it's like 1 and verse 7. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds. Now, for those of you who don't know, in the Bible, the chariots of Yahawah, Yahawashi are sometimes referred to as clouds, because what you've got to remember is back in them days, when John the Revelator and the apostles were around, and even prior to that, they didn't have the terminology that we use today. For example, today we're used to seeing aeroplanes and helicopters and mainly airplanes and helicopters flying in the sky. They didn't have that terminology back then, so that sometimes they would refer to the UFOs as clouds, because they didn't have the term UFO, unidentified flying object. So they would sometimes refer to these flying vehicles as clouds, or the chariots of Israel. So it says, Revelation 1 and 7, behold, he cometh with clouds. There you go. And every eye shall see him, and also they which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so amen. Now, who is this him that they're speaking about in Revelation 1 and verse 7? Because it says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. To get the link in precept, we have to go back to the book of Acts, chapter 1. Because we have to go line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. That's how you have to deal with the Holy Scriptures. Acts 1 and 10, I believe. Yeah, there we go. This is Yahawashi, yeah? Now, Yahawashi is the one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He is the His true name is Yahawashi, and he was a dark-skinned man from the tribe of Judah, according to the Bible. So any of you that's believing in that white image that they have plastered around with the guy with the long brown hair and the effeminate-looking features with the leprous skin, that's a false image of the Messiah. The real Messiah is the one that's spoken of in the Holy Scriptures. King James 16:11. So here we go. It says Acts 1:7, and this is Yahawashi speaking. And he said unto them, It is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his power, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and you shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. And here's the point. And it says, And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. So what you've got to do is you've got to visualize this. Here he was, Yahawashi, talking to his disciples, and then he is taken up in the air, and a cloud received him. The cloud meaning a chariot, which is what today the world would ignorantly call a UFO. And the chariot received him, I'll use that word there, out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahawashi, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So basically, the same way Yahawashi was taken up into a chariot is the same way he's coming back. That's why in Revelations 1:7 it said exactly what I said. We get that precept again. Revelation 1:7 it says, Behold, he cometh with clouds. So Yahawashi is coming back with an innumerable army of chariots, which are the UFOs. It says, Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, which proves reincarnation, but that's another lesson for another day. They also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. And what did you see all those people doing in that video there? They were all, hands over their mouths, gasping, grabbing their phones, recording this thing. They were all looking at it. But when Yahawashi comes back, there isn't going to be anybody who doesn't see it, because every eye shall see him, because he's coming in a great chariot, which is the size of a mountain, I believe, is it Ezra saw. And every eye shall see him, and they're going to wail because of him, because that's when Yahawashi is coming back to bring his vengeance on the earth and to destroy these nations which have held captive his people, which is the Israelites. You Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, West Africans predominantly, and also those who look like a speckled bird, which is Israelites who may look like other nations, but as I said, their lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. So let's get some more precepts on chariots. What else can I bring out? Psalms 68:17. Right, this is the book of Psalms chapter 68 and verse 17. Here we go. It says, The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord, meaning Yahawashi, is among them, as in Sinai, the holy place. Let me read that again, man. It's beautiful. Psalm 68:17. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels, because the angels ride in those chariots, and they're watching all the things that are going on in the earth, and they're just waiting to bring about that judgment and destruction when Yahawah gives the green light, because no man knoweth the day nor the hour when Yahawashi is going to return. Only our Father in heaven, which is Yahawah. So even Yahawashi doesn't know when he's coming back, but the fact that these chariots are manifesting themselves more and more means that we're coming closer to the end. Not only that, but we're supposed to measure the time diligently within itself. And when we see these signs of the prophecies coming to pass, which is exactly what we're seeing right now, all these prophecies, every day, new prophecies, bang, 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 bang. Even Apostle Tahar coined this year, 2020, the year of prophecy. And ever since the Passover, which was, I believe, was it March, the Passover, ever since then, prophecies are just going on, what do you call it, hyperspeed. Things are speeding up to the point where, Lord willing, we might even be out of here within the next year. You know what I mean? Lord willing, if things continue the way they're continuing, Esau will continue to ramp up his unrighteous decrees and bring out his mark of the beast. And once he does that, it's end game for Esau, man. So let me get another precept. Psalms 104:3. Alright, here's Psalms 104:3. It says, who layeth the beam... Maybe I should read up a bit. Yeah, let's read up into it. Bless Yahawah, O my soul. O Yahawah, my power. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honour and majesty. Who covereth thyself with light as with a garment. Who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain. So Yahawah is like just the whole universe. You can see, you can stretch that thing out like a curtain, man. It's like it just knocked something over. It says, who covereth thyself with light as a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain. Here's the point. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. But the whole point is in Psalm 104:3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh his clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. Let me get, I think Zechariah 5:1, yeah. This is the book of Zechariah chapter 5 and verse 1. And it says, and then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold a flying roll. And he said unto me, this is the angel speaking to Zechariah. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, for that every one that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and every one that sweareth shall be cut off on that side according to it. Meaning that, as I said, while these chariots are vehicles of hopefully deliverance and salvation for the elect of Israel, the 144,000 and 1/3 of the nation of Israel, they represent the salvation for them. These chariots also represent the curse that upon these heathens, which is the curse that they're going to be destroyed. Because when Babylon the Great, which is America, gets hit by the nukes, Yahawashi and the holy angels are going to be there in the chariots, blasting people, Independence Day style, blasting people to smithereens amidst all this chaos. So it's going to be a curse to them. And those that do survive of the heathen nations, they're going to be going headfirst into slavery under our nation Israel, because we're going to be put back on top and they're going to be servants unto us, whether you like it or not. That's just the truth of the Holy Bible. Whether you like it or not, believe it or not, it's going to come to pass, because the scriptures say, roughly paraphrasing, shall their unbelief make the word of Yahawah without effect? No, God forbid. Let the Most High be true and every man a liar. So lucky, I'm roughly paraphrasing that one, but Lord willing, it made sense though I broke it down there. So let me see. Let me get 2nd Ezra chapter 13. And then I might close it out after this one. Alright, so this is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 13. Let me start from the top. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Who's that man he's talking about? Yahawashi. The one the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. The one who I read about in Acts 1 and 10 and Revelation 1 and 7, where it says, he's coming back and every eye will see him. Yeah. So let's get into this, man. 2nd Ezra 13 and 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And wheresoever the voice went out of his mouth, they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. So basically, he's describing the laser beams coming out of the chariots and just obliterating people. You know, beautiful. 2 Ezra 13:4. I just read that, yeah. So 13:5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea, meaning that all the armies of the earth are going to be coming, all the militaries of the earth are going to be coming against Yahawashi and his angels in the chariots to fight against him. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it, meaning the chariot was so huge that it looked like a mountain and Yahawashi was flying in it. But let me read that again. 2 Ezra 13:6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or the place whereat the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, yet durst fight. Now what you've got to is cast your mind back to that film, Will Smith film, Independence Day. What did they try to do when the chariots appeared? Because, you know, these Hollywood directors, they get all their ideas from the Holy Scriptures, man. There ain't no story out there which didn't have its origins in the Bible, you know. So in the film Independence Day, you remember you saw the American forces trying to fight the chariots, and they got pretty much obliterated, except Will Smith. I think he's like one of the only survivors or something like that of that aerial dogfight. But that's basically what's going to happen, you know. So let's read this again. 2 Ezra 13:8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. Good stuff. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest which fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid. Best believe you'd be afraid, man, because imagine that you see all these armies with their tanks and their helicopters and their fighter jets and their aircraft carriers and whatever else crazy technology weapons Esau's got, which he hasn't disclosed to the public. They're going to be obliterated by Yahawashi and the holy angels. Yahawashi. You know, all praises to Yahawashi. So let me go on a bit more for the edification's sake. And it says 2 Ezra 13:12. Afterwards I saw the same man come down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceable multitude. This is the elect of Israel, the 144,000 and the 1/3. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, and some of them were bound. Some of them that were bound, speaking of the other nations, predominantly you Edomites who survived this judgment, and all you other other 17 nations, they're going to be bound, yeah. And other some brought of them were offered. Then I was sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, yeah. So that was the end of Ezra's vision. He woke up. But yeah, I mean, I've broken that down. I was only really wanting to get into the chariot part, but I went into the peaceable multitude part a bit because obviously there's going to be a happy ending for the 1/3 of Israel and hopeful elect. But for 2/3 of you wicked Israelites who don't want to receive this word and can't get in line with the Holy Spirit, that's going to be your ass, man. If Yahawashi and the chariots don't get you, the nukes will get you, you know. And if those don't get you, the most I can make any manner of things happen to you, you know, like you could get torn to pieces by wild dogs, or you could get shot in the head by martial law troops, or, you know, you could basically take the RFID implantable microchip and that's a guaranteed death sentence right there. You know, guaranteed death sentence if you take that RFID implantable microchip. So obviously, if you're an Israelite, you shouldn't be taking that, because we're not supposed to have any cuttings in our flesh, point blank, period. So I've hit the 30-minute mark. Didn't want to make this too long, but you know, the spirit goes as it will. So I'm going to close this out here with that, giving all praise, honor and glory as always unto Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rahakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule impeccably well, and the sincere shalom to you Akim that we pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and sincerity. And until the next lesson, Lord willing, I'll say shalom, wa abba wa kwam yasharala. Shalom.